Imagine, for a moment, that there is a version of you living in a parallel reality, observing every choice you make, every path you decide to take. What if this version of you, existing in a different timeline, is trying to communicate, sending you signs? The idea of parallel realities may sound like a science fiction movie, but quantum physics reveals that the reality we perceive is just one of infinite possibilities. Every decision you make, every thought that crosses your mind, potentially aligns you with one of these countless realities. In each of them, there is a version of you, some living extraordinary lives, others facing unknown challenges. But all these versions share something in common, a deep and invisible connection with you. But what if you could consciously tune in to these alternative versions of yourself? What might these versions say to you? What wisdom could they share? Understanding the existence of these parallel realities is not just a matter of curiosity. It is a path to self-knowledge and spiritual growth. For when you begin to explore this connection, new ways of perceiving your life, your choices, and your potential unfold. Connecting with parallel versions of yourself can be a powerful tool for personal development. It's like accessing the accumulated wisdom of a version of you that may have already overcome the challenges you face today. Or perhaps learning from a self that lives in complete harmony with the universe, expressing an elevated version of your potential. Each of these versions has something to offer, a perspective, a lesson, or even a direction. And as you begin to energetically align with these versions, you not only transform your own reality, but also awaken to a field of infinite possibilities. So today, you will discover the signs that your parallel version might be sending you and how to communicate with it. Today, we will embark on a deep and transformative journey where knowledge about parallel realities can be the key to unlocking a more conscious, abundant life aligned with your true purpose. Parallel realities are a fascinating concept that, from a spiritual perspective, suggests that the universe is composed of infinite coexisting dimensions. Each of these dimensions houses different versions of ourselves, living lives that are reflections of the infinite possibilities that our choices, thoughts, and energies can manifest. Spiritually, it is believed that these multiple realities are created through universal consciousness, where each thought and intention generates a new branch in the universe, forming a new reality where a version of us experiences a different story. In some of these realities, we might be living the life we desire, while in others we face different challenges, all shaped by the vibrations and choices we emit at different moments of our existence. Quantum physics, on the other hand, offers a complementary view, suggesting that the universe operates within a field of infinite possibilities. The concept of quantum superposition indicates that subatomic particles, and by extension reality itself, can exist in multiple states simultaneously. This implies that, on a fundamental level, all possible realities already exist simultaneously, and our consciousness, through its decisions and energies, collapses these possibilities into a single experienced reality. So we can say that the existence of multiple versions of ourselves in different realities is not just an esoteric theory, but an idea that resonates both in the spiritual and scientific realms. Each version of ourselves represents a part of our infinite potential, living realities that, although separated by thin frequency barriers, are deeply interconnected by the consciousness that creates them. These versions of us, living in distinct realities, are not disconnected. On the contrary, they may be constantly trying to communicate with us, sending signs and messages that can guide our path and decisions. But how do we recognize these signs? How do we know if a version of ourselves in another reality is trying to communicate with us? Let's explore the most common signs that may indicate this connection. Have you ever had the feeling that something at a particular moment seems strangely familiar, as if you've lived that experience before. Well, this sensation, known as déjà vu, might be much more than just a trick of the mind. In many cases, déjà vu is an indication that you are tuned in to a parallel version of yourself. It's as if, for a brief moment, the barriers between realities dissolve, allowing you to glimpse an experience that another version of you has already lived. Beyond this feeling, synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too well aligned to be merely accidental, can be clear signs that a parallel version is trying to communicate with you. When you repeatedly encounter certain numbers, symbols, or events, it can be an indication that something greater is at work. These synchronicities serve as a reminder that parallel realities are connected in ways that we often do not consciously perceive. It's as if the version of you in another reality is guiding your steps, using these coincidences as a means of communication. For example, imagine you're thinking about changing careers and suddenly start noticing the same symbol, perhaps a logo or a specific word in various places, on ads, social media, even in casual conversations. This repetition could be a way for a version of you in a reality where this change has already occurred to try to point you in a direction. It's a call to pay attention to the signs around you and consider what they might be trying to reveal. Another sign of this communication is through dreams. Dreams are portals to our subconscious, but they can also be windows to other realities. Particularly vivid dreams, those that feel real and leave a lasting impression, can be manifestations of experiences lived by parallel versions of yourself. When you dream of a life that seems different yet strangely familiar, or encounter people you do not know in waking life, you may be accessing memories or experiences from another version of yourself. Lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you're dreaming and can even control the dream, is another powerful sign. During these lucid dreams, you can consciously connect directly with other realities and explore these alternative versions of yourself. The key here is to pay attention to the details of these dreams, the places, the people, the emotions. They may carry important messages, guiding your choices or alerting you to aspects of your life that need attention. For example, if you repeatedly dream of a situation where you're living in a way you desire but have not yet achieved, this could indicate that this reality already exists in another dimension and is within your reach. Interpreting these dreams requires introspection and often meditation upon waking to capture the essence of what was experienced. Another sign is moments when you feel out of place, as if the reality around you does not quite fit. This phenomenon, often described as a feeling of being out of time or place, can be a sign that you are momentarily tuned into a parallel version of yourself. This disconnection from the present can occur suddenly, as if for a moment you do not fully recognize your surroundings or have the impression that you should be somewhere else. These experiences can be disconcerting, but also indicate that realities are overlapping and your consciousness is adjusting to these different frequencies. For example, you might be in a familiar place but suddenly feel that something is out of place, as if experiencing a lapse between realities. This feeling can be a subtle message from a parallel version of you, suggesting reflection on where you are and where you could be if you followed a different path or made a different decision. Intuition is another clear sign. We've all experienced moments of intuition, that inner voice that guides us towards something without an apparent logical reason. But what if these strong intuitions are actually forms of communication from a parallel version of you, trying to guide you to the right path? These intuitions can arise as an irresistible feeling that something needs to be done, even if you do not fully understand why. It's as if a part of you, in another reality where the choice has already been made, is sending you a message to act in a certain way. In addition to this feeling, sudden changes in behavior, where you start acting differently without a clear explanation, can be signs that a parallel version of you has influenced your current reality. Perhaps you begin adopting new habits, interests, or even changes in your daily routine without fully understanding the origin of these changes. This can be a reflection of a deeper connection with a version of you that has already incorporated these behaviors and is now projecting this energy into your current life. When you notice the signs that there is a communication between your parallel versions,